How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the next section of this series where we are implementing a production level authentication system with account verification, password reset, and awesome features like that. So right now I have my front end running, I have my back end running here, and my database running, of course. So make sure you are doing the same. Right now the app looks something like this. Just have navbar with the words navbar, and I guess our home component is just displaying the words home, so of course we want to fix this up a little. So let's go ahead and do just that. Alright, so let's see. First thing I think I'll work on is that home component. So into source containers, where's home? There it is. I want to just display a Jumbotron here, so I have Bootstrap open here, so just make sure you just Google Bootstrap and then navigate into the documentation here and search for Jumbotron. There it is. This one looks absolutely perfect. So let's go ahead and grab that. I'm gonna paste it in here because what I'm gonna want to do is have it inside of a container. So I'm gonna have class name here of container, and then it's complaining here because we have this horizontal rule here, which has to be a closing tag. So make sure you do that. And then I'm going to have some margin top here of 5. And I'm also going to make all these double quotes into single quotes because I'm a little OCD and I like my single quotes. So let's see, what am I going to do here? So, welcome to auth system. Beautiful. Let's delete this text here. This is an incredible authentication system with production level features. Yeah, you can write whatever you want, so feel free to be creative. And then click the login button. And this is going to be a login button, and this is going to be a link, so we have to bring that in. So link from React router DOM. Change this to a link. This is going to go to /login. And the rest, actually no, this will be login. There we go. And that should be good. Let's see how that looks. And beautiful. That looks lovely. Now let's fix up this navbar a little bit. Why don't we? Come on, navbar, search. There we go, navbar. Thank you. Let's find one that I like. And that would be this one right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab all of this here. Beautiful. Let's go to components, navbar, and just paste all of this in here. Let's make the indenting look nice. There we go. Let's change all of these to be class names. Beautiful. Oh, that looks a lot nicer already. Alright, so this should be auth system. We're gonna have to bring in link here. Oop. This is from React router DOM. There we go. This is gonna be a link, which is gonna go to /. And then I guess this button here, let me fix up this indentation a little. Alright, beautiful. And then once again, I want all these double quotes to be single quotes. Of course, you don't have to do that, but I am a little OCD and I like to use single quotes, so I'm just going to do that. There we go. Let's see, what else do I have to fix up here? So this is going to be a link, which is going to go to /. It's going to say home, and I can leave this to be the exact same. And then this stuff here is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have things like login, sign up, And then we're also going to have a logout button. So let's just see. I think I called it. No, I called it sign up. Okay. So this will be /signup. And I'm just going to have it like this for now. Make this a link. Make this a link. And then this will be 2. And so will this. There you go. Okay, that should be good. So I can go to login, sign up, back to home. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, when I click this, it isn't working. Why is that? That's because this has to be 2. There we go. Now if I go to login, I can go here. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we have that working. Now let's go ahead and work on our action and reducers. So what I want to have in this application is for whenever you load the application, it's going to check whether the user is authenticated. And it's going to do that by checking the local storage and seeing if there's an access token in the local storage. Okay, so let's go ahead, open up actions, auth, and we're also going to need some types here. So let me just copy this down. I'm going to need authenticated success, and then authenticated fail, and also going to need logout. Beautiful. Let's bring that in. Authenticated success, authenticated fail, and logout. All right, so here I'm going to have export const check authenticated. This is going to be an async dispatch, since we're going to have asynchronous stuff going on in here. And then also at the bottom here, I'm going to also do export const logout. And then for this logout, this one's simple, so I'm just doing it now. So dispatch type of logout. Beautiful. All right, so here, first thing I want to do is check if local storage.get item access. I want to check if the access token exists. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to dispatch a type of authenticated fail. Otherwise, we're going to go through this authentication process here. So what I'm going to need is some configuration. So let me just grab this one here. So config, and I don't need to do this. And then, let's see. I'm going to need const body. JSON.stringify, and then local storage.get item. Whoop. Or what am I doing? So this will be token, then local storage.get item access. And then gonna have a try catch. And then of course, if there is an error, then I'm going to do authenticated fail. And then right here, I'm going to have to do a check. And basically to demonstrate what I'm checking for, let me just open up Postman here. Okay, so if we go into auth system, verify token, and I go ahead and send a request here, we see that we get this code with token not valid. So I'm actually going to use this here. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm basically going to check for if response.data.code doesn't equal this here. That means we are successful, basically. And then, of course, we have to actually do const response is equal to await axios.post. And let me just go ahead and grab this here. I'm going to bring that right in here. And then this is going to be /auth/JWT/verify/. Then we're going to bring in our body and our config. There we go. And then if in fact we do get this, response.data.code is equal to this, that means that there was an error. So let's just go ahead and dispatch an error here. Otherwise, we got success. Beautiful. So that should be that for this check authenticated function. Now let's move on to the auth reducer here. Let's bring in those things. So authenticated success, authenticated fail, and logout. So right at the top here, I'm going to make a case for authenticated success. And then I'm going to do spread operator with state. And the thing I'm going to be changing is authenticated to be true. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's put it, I don't know, here. And this one's going to be the fail case. And it's going to return, have all the state the exact same, and it's going to change is authenticated to be false. And then, of course, we're going to have logout, which is going to be the exact same as login fail. So we're just going to remove the access refresh token from the local storage, and we're going to set access refresh to null, is authenticated to false, and user to null. So there we go. So that should all be good. Let's now go into layout. And I'm going to need the use effect hook here. And then I'm going to need curly braces. So let's bring those in. Indent this over. Let's set up this use effect. All right, beautiful. And then I'm going to need the connect helper. This is from React Redux. And I'm also going to need my two functions. Well, I mean, the one function I created, which is check the authenticated. So I'm just going to do from actions auth. I'm going to do this first just so I can have it autofill here. So check authenticated and load user. So I'm going to need these two functions. Let's wrap our layout with our connect helper. We don't have any map state to props, so this is just going to be null since we don't need any of the authentication states in this layout. We just need the functions. And basically we want to run check authenticated and we want to run load user. Okay. And then in this use effect hook, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run those two functions. So props.check authenticated and props.load user. Okay, and that should be good. Okay. And now one thing I can actually do is go into this login now, and I can actually do this part that we left out in the last section. So let me go ahead and uncomment this. Is authenticated is going to be state.auth.is authenticated. Map state to props. So we're going to bring this in. And of course I have to bring this here is authenticated. And then I'm going to check if is authenticated. If that is true, I'm going to return redirect to /. So we're redirecting them to the home page if they are authenticated. Okay, beautiful. Let's see what we got going here so far. So I'm going to actually build this real quick and just kind of test things out. All right, so now I'm gonna just remove this build folder in the backend. Go ahead, delete that, and bring in this one. And then something that I could actually do just to make this process a little easier, if you open up package.json, we can adjust this build here. So before we build, what we can do is we can remove recursively backend/build, and then we can build, and then we can copy recursively the build and put it into backend/build. So let's go ahead and test this just to make sure it works properly. So it removed it. And there we go. So that worked. It copied it into here. So that'll make it a lot easier. Now once we run npm run build, we won't have to do the delete it here, copy it, and put it into the backend folder. It'll just happen automatically. Okay, so let's go into localhost 8000/login. Let's check out our dispatch that we have here. So authenticated fail, user loaded fail. So perfect. That's what we would expect to see if we're not actually authenticated and don't have an access token in our local storage. Now let's try to log in here. Okay, so perfect. We're redirected to what's called the home page. If I go to login, I literally can't because it's just redirecting me. Okay, so we have login success, user loaded success. Now let's go ahead and actually refresh this page. And now let's see what happened. Authenticated success, user loaded success. So you see, even if we refresh the page, we still remain authenticated. So that's perfect. And then, of course, I'm not doing anything with this refresh token. I could include something with the refresh token. Basically, a purpose for it could be, let's say, when you're logging in, you could click, let's say, a checkbox to remain authenticated. And then whenever you reload the app, you can have it use this refresh token to get yourself a new access token. And that way you keep remaining authenticated. I kind of left that out in this series, but I mean, if people want to see that, that is something I could always kind of add as another feature. Okay, so anyway, last thing I want to kind of do in this section before I wrap it up is just have these links updating accordingly. So let's go into navbar. And then I'm going to have curly braces here. So wrap all this in curly braces. Indent all of this. Have a return. There we go. Now all of this is wrapped in a return instead. And then I'm going to have const guest links and const auth links. So the guest links are basically going to be the login and sign up, and the auth links is going to be when you're authenticated. It's going to show you the logout button. And then that's also another thing we're going to need. So import logout from actions auth, and then also going to need the connect helper. So let's go ahead and wrap this in the connect helper. This is going to be null for the map state to props. We're going to bring in logout, and we're also going to need to bring in logout here. And then, actually we will have state, because I'm going to want to check whether is authenticated is true. And then that will determine what I display here. So const map state to props. And then is authenticated state.auth.is authenticated. Oop. There we go. And then I'm going to want to have this here as well. Is authenticated. And then also going to want map state to props here instead of null. Alright, so let's get working on these links here, and I'm also going to need const, let's say logout handler. And then this is going to run our logout function. Okay. Now let's also bring in fragment, since I'm going to need that for these guest links here. And then let me just grab these two, cut them, put them right in here. Beautiful. And then this one here. This is, let's see, I'm going to also have something similar. Just instead, I'm going to want to have an A tag with an href, and just going to have a shebang here. This is going to say log out. And actually, I don't need this logout handler. I can just straight up do on click logout. And then that should log us out. And now let's have a condition here is authenticated. So if this is true, what we're going to do is we are going to display our, what is it? So auth link. So auth links, otherwise we're going to have guest links. Okay, now let's go ahead and build this real quick and see if it works. Okay, so let's see what happened here. So navbar.js expected an assignment or function call and instead saw an expression. So this is 8 and 19. Ah, yes. So I need to wrap these in round parentheses instead of the curly ones. My bad. Because we are returning JSX here. Let's rebuild this. Alright, now let's test this out. So let's refresh here. So if we go ahead and check what happened, we got authenticated fail and user loaded fail. So our token probably expired, so now we have to relog in. So let's go ahead, relog in, John Doe 1357915. So let's log in, we're redirected, and there we go. It's updated to be a logout button. And if we go ahead and check things here, we got login success, user loaded success. Let's take a look at our state. We have an access, refresh token is authenticated as true, and we have our user. And if we refresh the page, again, we are still logged in. If we click log out, there we go. The links are updated. Let's check our dispatches here. So when we refreshed, we got authenticated success, user loaded success, and then when we logged out, we got logout, and our access refresh is null. Our user's null is authenticated as false. Beautiful. And these links are updated. So everything works. So hope you enjoyed this section. We managed to implement the navbar, we made the homepage look nicer, and then we also added the functionality to check whether a user is authenticated whenever the page is refreshed. So, hope you enjoyed this section, and I will see you in the next. But before that, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content on this channel and if you're enjoying this series. Thank you.